Today's agenda is present contest order preparation. What are the most efficient options to create contest order, connection to scoreboards, contest order display, coach assistant, what to print, how to print during the competition, working with referees, correcting scoreboard mistakes, disqualifications, and at the end, questions. I will also try to answer some questions you already sent in advance. So we will try to be as productive as possible. So first thing that you know what we're discussing about which part. So this is the contest order. Here is the short presentation, how we name certain parts, so that you know what we're discussing. And now I will give word to Corina. As we were preparing how to plan, what to take into consideration, what you have to be careful about. So Corina, welcome.
Thank you, and hello everyone. Well, most of you did planning, so I'm sure you're more than familiar with this. If not, this is a good part for you to learn and to have the first knowledge about it. As Anya already prepared this presentation more than perfectly, it's not too much to do in this slide, apart from mentioning some things that we need to take into consideration when we do the planning for each mat. Of course, the first point is how many mats we're gonna have, what type of repechage we're gonna have, because we all know if it's a double repechage, it's a little bit of more headache. The number of athletes in each category. Of course, all this needs to be verified with the sport director. If what we think is correct, the sport director agrees with us. In some situations, you can do the planning after the accreditation is finished, so basically before the draw. In some situations, the sport director or even the competition allows you to have the mat planning basically after the draw. So like this, you can do it more relaxed and not in so much stress. So it's easier if you do it after the draw, but most of us anyway prepare it in advance. So in case you have any decisions that you realize that because we all make mistakes, and I think it's normal to make mistake. We learn from them. So if you realize after you do the planning and after the draw that there are some changes that you want to have in the planning, I think it's absolutely no problem to discuss it with the sport director, to explain them what is the situation, and just to have the mat division as clear as possible for the competition days, even if you decide to change it after that. So more or less, this is the first slide, and this is a way to do the mat planning and the preparation for the contest per mat and with a start time proposal. As Anya is going to show later on in the program, you have a part in JudoManager where you have to select the categories per day, and at the bottom of the column you will have how many athletes you have and how many fights, sorry, you're going to have for that day. What I can say me and also Elisabetta does, it's calculating an approximate of 10 fights per hour. In some situation it's more, in some situation it's less, but the estimation so far it's like that, 10 fights per hour. So when you do an approximate contest per mat, it's in the first part of the slide. You see day 1, day 2, and day 3 with the estimation of the fights that we have, with the inscriptions until that moment. And you can see that, for example, day 1 is not so balanced. You have 70 fights on mat 1, 55 on mat 2, and 57 on mat 3, which it's by far not the best option. But because of that, we calculated 7 hours, the total amount of fights. Of course, during the competition and during the accreditation, the numbers can change in case they do even better. And in case it stays like this, then of course during the competition day you can move from one mat to another, because unfortunately we also know that mats are not equal. Even if they are equal at the beginning, they will not finish in the same time. This is basically on the left side, we have Excel that anyone can do. It's easy file. We have the categories on one side, then the second column is with the number of athletes. If you have last day to repechage, a quarterfinal repechage, it's easy because the number of the athletes that you have, it's the number of the fights that you're gonna have. So this is the easiest way to calculate. If you have a double repechage, here it's a bit more complicated, but as far as I know, the system always gives you a number of fights, a number of possible fights for that category. So this is the planning that was done. Some categories are full, some categories are split, pool A, B, and C and D. In case you have 4 mats, and if the sport director agrees, you can have pool A, B, C, and D, 1 per mat. It will be the best way to have a more equal number of fights. But in some situations, not all the people are happy, especially the coaches. So it's also a matter of deciding with the sport director what is the best option for that competition. Yes, this is what we already said. The division, it's totally up to you. You can always ask for help if you are at the beginning. For sure, all the colleagues in Slovenia, also myself and Ellie, are more than happy to help you in case you have any questions with the planning. If you are at the beginning of this road, let's say it like this, we still ask each other. So it's absolutely no problem if you do. Yes, this is the part of the repechage and the semi-final where you can have some issues. For example, quarterfinal, and after the quarterfinal, you should. No, actually here, sorry, my bad, because we have also a different slide later on. So this is an option with the quarterfinal repechage, and an example with double repechage, when you have more rounds, and you can see on the left side the repechage final and the semi-final are together, a group of 4. And on the other side, the double, when you have a double repechage, the semi-final and the repechage final are round by round, basically, one category and the other category. Like this, it gives more time for the athletes, the ones coming from the repechage, to have a time to rest, to have a time to change the judogi, do the judogi control, and be ready for the next fight. This is an example that happened actually to me. Now seeing it, the quality is not the best, but I hope you will be able to understand. The issue, it's basically on mat 2. here you have a first round of 81 kilogram. And then because in 63 kilogram, we didn't had any fight in the first round, the second round was mixed with the round one, basically, exactly that one. So, and if you can see, after that, you have 2 more fights of 70 kilogram first round. So if this happens, because you don't have in that mat, you don't have the first round of one category, the suggestion is just to move it down and to keep the order as it is. So round 1, round 2, and so on. So it's more easier for you and also for the coaches to follow and to know where they are. This is an example when you have even round by round, or even 2 rounds of the same category starting, which it can happen a lot in cadets and juniors with double repechage. Here you will see that you have a first fight in 66 kilogram, and because the fight it's in the upper part of the pool, the winner has to fight again. So basically it has only one fight to rest, and then it needs to fight again. In this situation, the recommendation is to move this fight further down. So basically, when at the end of the pool A and B, let's say, if you have a full category, or just after, they need at least 10 minutes of rest. So the suggestion is move it 3, 4, 5 fights, depending on how many fights you have from that category. So this athlete has also a good amount of rest, time to change the judogi and pass everything that he needs to pass. It is like you all already know. 10 minutes is the minimum required break for the athletes. To give them time, you can also put a break, or you can move the contest order so they have the break that they need. As it was mentioned already, take into consideration the time that the athletes need from the moment they exit the mat to do a full tour sometimes of the venue, to go back to the warm-up area, change the judogis. In case everything runs smoothly, the recommendation is also, if you have time, of course, and if possible, with the approval of the sport director, to have a pause after the quarterfinals. 5 minutes, 7 minutes, 10 minutes, if it's possible. Like this, you have time for yourself to prepare the repechage, to print, to distribute, and also for all the athletes that were waiting if they will have a repechage or not, to have time to warm up and get ready for their fights. What else did we said here? 1 second.
Yes, if I may help a little, because
yes,
Karina is talking for a long time, especially with cadets and juniors, especially cadets. Sometimes these are the first competitions for competitors on this level, and sometimes, you know, they need some time and they are waiting for the winner quarterfinal. And if you put this repechage immediately, it can happen that they will miss the fight. So, you know, maybe you should also take into the consideration this, and maybe it's better to put 5 minutes pause than, you know, to have contestants miss the contests. And also, when you're changing the contest order, it's important that everyone is informed, because, you know, it's not just the people who are working on the competition, but also the contestants and their coaches. Because like I said, you know, imagine the big event with 400 competitors one day, 5 mats or 6 mats, and you know the time they need to come if you change the contest order. Okay, Corina, I give it back to you.
Yeah. This is another big point, and I'm happy you already touch it. Information from, as it is already mentioned here on the PowerPoint, the announcer to inform the whole venue, the judogi control they need to know, the referees because they need to move. If you move, of course, you need to reprint and inform them like, look, you will have 2 more fights, 5 more fights, whatever is necessary. And if you have time, by giving yourself the break, you can also do all this calm and relaxed and not to be in a hurry. Yes. Double repechage situations.
Okay,
Go on, Anya.
Maybe I can again jump in. This is one situation. You have two categories. They're quite full. Everything looks okay. Everyone has enough time for the repechage to prepare for contests, and then this happens, which is quite often. It's not a very rare situation. So what happens here? You can see this contest here just finished. So the ones who have repechage have to prepare, and then you have just one contest here, and immediately this contest. So do they have enough time to come to the judogi control? Okay. I think this is, you're all familiar with this. So we are thinking that this is the situation where it would be maybe good to put a pause in between. Okay. So I would ask you all if you have any questions about this basic, how to prepare, which contest to put. So we have Corina here who has a lot of experience, and also Elizabeth, I see. Hi.
Yes,
So,
sorry to be late. We were the other side of Tashkent.
yes.
And it took some time to arrive. Sorry.
So it's a good opportunity for you if you have any questions about this, so they can also answer about sport directors or how to approach these situations. So you can unmute and ask or just write. Maybe later.
I think, as probably Corina and Anya already said, we always have to keep in mind that not to put the athletes under stress or not under unnecessary stress. Because sometimes the venues are big and they need time to do their tour and maybe time to change their gis and so on. And judogi control can take quite some time. Actually, what is required in judogi control is to be there 3 fights before, which of course at the end of the day is not really that possible anymore.
Okay, thank you. Maybe we'll have some questions later on. And now we will just move to the, working with the program. How basically we work with the program. And if you have any questions, you can write. We were checking, or I will give some options to ask. Okay. So first thing, we have a competition here prepared. And you will see later on it's a little unusual how it's all prepared. But like Corina explained, here you set the categories by day, and you will have at the bottom, you will have how many contests there are per mat, just the basic calculation. So this is, what you should set. And then you have time blocks. So here, if I open a time block, I see the number of mats that I selected, and this referees overall mats, which we will come to later on. Okay, so we did accreditations, we did everything, we did draw. And now I come to the contest order. So this is the page. We have a plan and then contest order. So if I scroll down here, you see that you have categories. And here at women, you see that it finishes with category under 70. Why? Because I did not confirm these two draws. So if I confirm these two draws and I go back to the contest order, you will see now I have all the draws that are prepared. So these are the draws that I'm going to put in the plan. So I have two views, plan and the contest order. So plan is basically to see, what is ready, you can put them, and this is useful button on the top, clean. So if you make a mistake and you want to clean all the contests, just press this clean. So then I have this final, time blocks that we created. When I change the time block, it will give me the number of mats I have for the time block. I put different number of mats on purpose. So, we can try different options for everything. And then on the left side here, you see the categories. You have different views. So if I open this, you see here, you have round 1, pool A, round 1, pool B, and so on. Or I can change to this view where I will have all contests in pool A, all contests in pool B, and so on, and then repechage and semifinal. So these are like different options how we want to choose pools. So I can, for example, take pool AB under 60, and then pool AB under 66, drag and drop them and say mixed rounds. And here in the plan, I will see that the rounds are mixed. If I go to contest order view, I will have different numbers for the contest. Or I can just take two categories, for example, 73. I will take 3 categories. I will put them here, say mix round, and it will mix the rounds. So for example, I don't want to have medal contests in the eliminations, so I can just choose them all. For example, right click, remove from plan, and it will remove them from the plan. And now, if I check category 73, you see it's a bit different color. And I have all the contests for the final block here. So these are options how to easily prepare a contest order for each mat, each category, and so on. For veterans, where we have a huge amount of different categories, for example, we just chose all men M1, men 2, and we put them on one mat, and all the rounds were mixed, for example. Because you have a lot of categories, a lot of round robins, and then you can make some adjustment. For example, I want to move this contest. I can just take this contest and move it further down or move it back up. If I put right click, you can see I can move one up, one down to the end. And then I have here like add pause, remove from plan, skip contest, and so on. Add awarding ceremony. So I can prepare all this. So, for example, I will put here, I can say add pause, and then, for example, count down, I want to have a countdown, and the pause will be created here. This pause will also be on the contest order print and sent to the scoreboards, and also seen in the contest order display. So these are the basic options. So then in the contest order, here you see you have short format, long format, and referee view. So in short format, I just see this. Longer format, I see more information. And in referee view, I see referees. We will check referees later on in detail. And then you have also options to hide the finished contest. And here it's plan builder. Plan builder can create the own contest order for every match, but we would not recommend to use this in the judo-based competitions because it's not. It's better to make it like you choose to and present to everyone. This is more for the national competitions. And then you have refresh. This is quite important. If you don't have refresh on, then you won't get data from the scoreboards. You won't see data from the scoreboards here. So refresh must be on if you want to refresh the contest order with data from scoreboards, if you want to see it here. You can turn it off when you're moving the contest and so on. So it's easier when you, for example, want to move contest or something like that. But if you forget to turn it on, you won't see any data from the scoreboards here. And then we have prints, which we will come back to later. I can, of course, choose to see how many matches I want to see and so on. Okay. Then there is another thing that you have to do with the contest order is first thing is usually overweight athletes. So we have to set overweight athletes. If you wanna set overweight athletes, you go to draw, you open the draw where you wanna set overweight athlete. Here on the side you see the athletes, right click and you see disqualify overweight. So for example, we can disqualify Garrigos and he will be crossed over. Later on, we will see when I print, when we show the print, that he must be crossed over in the print. So this is the easy way. And then, of course, after you have crossed him over, you usually need to print failed weighing list. So we can choose by day and so on. So here I have more chosen, but you see that these are failed weighing. Okay, now we will go to working with referees. Now we will turn back to PowerPoint.
Yeah,
for
sorry,
some
Anya.
more information about
for the failed weigh-in. Don't forget to put it to post it. So either to post it online, to post it on the physical notice board and so on, in order to let the opponent know that they don't have an opponent, so that they don't really need to warm up and be ready for the contest that is not really existing.
Okay, thank you, Eli. So now we are going to working with referees. So here in the PowerPoint, we have rules how the program behaves. And we'll go through all this practically. So first you must define the number to the referee, then the mat, and this referees will be selected for the refereeing on this mat. They will be assigned approximately the same number of contests for each referee. Then these are the rules. You can read them later. I will post also this PowerPoint. So you know exactly how the program will behave. So we can choose 1 or 3 referees. You can exclude individual referee from being selected. You have excluded countries for the referee, and you can choose referee avoidance type. We'll go through all this. Then you have sometimes some exceptions that can occur on the competition. For example, if you want to change the referee from one match to the other during the competition, and it will be set to another match, then the program will realize that this referee didn't have any contest, so he will assign them to a lot of contests to get to the same number as the others. So we really don't recommend doing this. You can always set them manually by drag and drop. And if you don't want for a referee to continue refereeing, for example, the commission decides so, or maybe, the referee can also become sick or something like that can happen, just go back to the referee module, the referee segment, just put number of match 0 and check all the contests he was already assigned to, that you clear this referee from there. If the contest is already finished, you cannot clear the referee from that contest. He cannot be cleared because this has already happened. It's like removing the competitor from contest. It cannot be done after it's finished. So all the settings that are for the eliminations are also for the final blocks. You can choose this referee over all match. And I will show later if you have referees over all matches and final block on 3 matches, for example, or 2 matches, then you have to add some pauses. So let's go now to the program. So if I go to referees, first thing you have to do is assign a number to each referee. So like this. What did I do? I think I assigned them to everyone now. I'm not sure. Okay. We have, I did it wrong. This one is 1. This one is 3. Okay. 5, 7, 8. This one is 16. Okay. Okay. And then I have to set the mat for these referees. For example, I will set these ones 1, 2, 3. Okay. Then I have to set this auto draw referees must be on. If you don't have this on, the referees won't be drawn. And then we have to set avoidance type. Normally for IJF events, it should be country avoidance. So they avoid to referee the same country. But sometimes, AGU events, I know there are a lot of referees from one country, and then you can set no avoidance type. But let's say country, and then 1 or 3 referees per match. And then there is another thing, you can set excluded countries. So here you see it, Peter, he has excluded country Slovakia. So if I open the referee, I can set excluded countries like adding, and here I set, for example, Slovenia. Say yes, and she will be excluded to referee Slovenia. Later on, before final block, you have to set match also for the final block. So if the final block matches are not assigned, the referees will not be selected for refereeing in the final block. Then, of course, you print the lists and so on. So now we have set Yes, is there a question?
Yes, it's me.
Really?
So it can happen that you have already a second country appearing for a referee, because in the system, the judo base keeps all the records of the referees. So like here, you can see from the example, for example, Lubomir Peter, that is Australian, but he has a double citizenship. He has a double nationality, and is Slovakia. So it will be automatically select for both. This comes generally because of a double nationality or a referee from a nationality living in another country. This is for you to understand why we have these excluded countries. That's it.
Yeah, thank you. So we go back to the contest order. You will see now that we have draw referees because there are no referees assigned to this contest. So I can click here, draw referees, and I have not enough referees. Okay, or I can open this list and click draw action, draw all. Okay, they're not. I have made some mistake.
You didn't put the mat. Oh, you did.
Yes, I did. And that's, I can try this one. Yes, I put them in the final block. This is a sort of a mistake that can happen. So I will go to plan, clean, and put them to the preliminaries. Okay. So if I go here, click draw referees, we draw the, I can this way. So if I go to referee view, I will see the referees that were assigned. And on the bottom, you see the number of contests that were assigned as a referee or as a judge. I can also do draw action here, draw all, and it will do the same thing. So for example, I have to change this referee. And I will say clear, and it will clear the referees. And I can take the referee and put the referee also manually to this contest. So this is what you can do in cases or if the referee commission says this must be done. Okay. Any questions about this assigning of referees? We said of course also for final block, it's a bit different. So I will come here. And I will take like this. So we'll put this one here. I cannot do that in referee view. Another. So in this situation, the draw will delegate the referees normally, like first round, second round. But then you can have a situation like this. You have bronze, final bronze, final. And then if I have referees overall met, then the program doesn't know that the two bronze fights and then final. and then 2 bronze and final. So I need to put the pause. After this contest, so both bronze contests are at the same time again. And then if there is another category, I just have to put pause again. You understand? So the program knows, okay, these 2 contests are the same time, and these 2 contests are the same time, and it will not delegate the referees on the mat at the same time. If there is no pause, the program doesn't know that these 2 contests are actually at the same time. It thinks that the 3rd place contest is the same time as the final. This is if you have 3 referees. Okay. Then we have to set up the scoreboards. So we created the contest order, and now we have to set the scoreboards. Okay, I will just open the scoreboard. So I have this scoreboard, and this is a new feature, the 7. The time is not synchronized. So what I need to do is adjust data time and sync the time. And the notice will disappear. So the thing I have to set is, of course, the basic settings. So I need to select the server. Normally, you would have just one server. Here we have a lot of servers on the network as we are doing a lot of testing and so on. So this is the correct one. And then I have to set the flow. Usually it's category round, then white or blue first, one of these. Then you can have this on or off, and then logo. And this is also a command golden score. But the rule now is that it finishes after 10 seconds. So I said yes. And then you will have clean data, and you will have clean data from the scoreboard, from the server. Here I have a test mode. So now if we will show you the server, how it looks. So on server, you see that I have mat 1 green and mat 2 red, because I have only one scoreboard open. So this green means that this scoreboard is connected, and also now we go back to the scoreboard. You see that the server is connected. If I go now to the test mode, this test mode is for the scoreboard operator to test. It's test mode, but now if we go back to server, you will see that mat 1 has changed to the purple. And this means that it's on the test mode. This is important before you start, especially for then of competition, because usually scoreboard operators are doing some testing and so on, that you check that you have the competition mode on. Because if you start with the test mode, it won't be very good. So if you go back to the scoreboard, I go out of the test mode and I go to competition mode. What I need now is scoreboard display. So here I have to set what I want to have. So this is the usual setting, and then I have to choose the logo. So for example, I want to have European Union, and it will be European Union logo. So I go to next contest, and it will show white, show blue, show contest, and now we're in the contest mode. So here we start the competition. Any questions about this?
I would
Okay.
I would only mention that as far as I know, I don't know if there are any exception from the rule. The server is always 2.2. So whatever they find on the laptops for the scoreboards, they should select that as a server for the scoreboards to talk to the server.
Yeah, it can change depending on how the local network is configured. But I will show you now two most common things why you want the server from Scoreboard. If we go back to server, first thing is service is stopped. If service is stopped, then the scoreboards won't be able to see the server. Okay, so it takes some time to stop, and then it will take some time to start. You should always have service on. The only time you need to turn the service off is when you're making a backup of the base. Then you need to turn the service off. And the other thing is you selected the wrong time block from this list. So if I select this time block and we go now to the scoreboard, I said clean data. I just turned the service back on. Okay, I said clean data. There is no data here because there are no contests in this time block not yet. But if I have contests in the time block, I need to select the time block with events. Now I get the contest to the scoreboard. So these are most common issues why you wouldn't have contests in the scoreboard or connection. The other reason is that the network is not correct. Okay, any questions about this scoreboard setup?
One thing, it can also be that sometimes you have to run the app as administrator.
Yeah, yes, this was an issue now with Windows updates, but with the newest version, this should be corrected. So this is good, Eli, thanks for reminding so everyone knows. I go to Scoreboard and I click here, run as administrator.
Yeah, because it happened that we were blank in the fights were not appearing and we didn't know how to manage. And sometimes this running as administrator can help. Another suggestion to find a server properly, as many computers have the same name, may be better to give the server computer a good proper name, so to find the correct one and not to get into something else.
Yes.
Like call it Jingle Bell, but call it.
Okay. There is another new feature in version.
Just one remark. It's never good to have on the same network computers with same name. So this is bad idea and should be always avoided.
This was Mitya. He's today with us.
With the voice from Mitya.
Also,
no, but I mean,
but
sometimes the computers are like a Lenovo 123, and then you don't see exactly the matrix or the code, and then it's confusing, no?
Yeah, Eli has a good imagination about naming the computers. So we always
Mine are,
know.
no, I have the flowers.
Yes.
I have the flower series.
Which is good because I think the name of the computer, it helps if it's distinguishable.
Yeah.
I think this is a help.
And
Um,
if you are in places where all the computers' name are in Russian or in Japanese or in Chinese, better to have a proper name.
Yeah, true. There is another feature on server with version 7. So if you go to this button, right click, you can send message to scoreboards or send them to the test mode. If the scoreboard operators are going out, you can put them back in. Oh, this is another feature. Okay, we will go to scoreboard display. I go to this. So this is scoreboard display. First I have of course, select the server IP. In this case, is this one.
Contest order display.
Oh, I said something stupid again. Yes, contest order display. Thanks. I can set to follow the scoreboard. Then the information from scoreboard will appear. Okay. This one. Then I can choose the preset. So, for example, this one. And then layout. I can have for contestants, for referees, for announcers, and then of course for team competition. So if I choose a referees, I will have it like this. I put inline view and the referees will appear here. So I see how they are. I can choose 1 mat, 2 mats. I can choose which mats I want to have, how many contests per mat. So I can really play with these settings. I want to have previous contest, current contest, future contest, and then I can, you can really make something bigger or smaller, however you want to have it presented. I will choose the contestant layout, and here I see the number of the referee that is refereeing, and of course you can set them to different view. So this is the contest order display. And then we have coach assistant, which is just the browser. And then we come to printing. So I will ask Ellen
Show
or
the coach
Corina
assistant
again.
for a while. Anya,
Yes,
can you show the coach assistant for a minute?
yes. I just have to open it. Oh, here. You see it, PowerPoint? This is how the coach assistant looks. Okay, so here the coaches can choose the country and see how many contests, did their contests, and so on. Okay. If we go to how to print and what to print, like I said, I will ask Eli and Corina again to explain a bit more about printing, and then I will show on server how it works. Because during the competition, there is a lot of running around with the prints of contest order and so on. So, Eli, Corina?
So as you know, this is a part that seems to be easy, but must be properly done to have all the clients informed on time about the running of the event. So you have the different parts of the event, like the different parts of colleagues working. So the judogi control people need to know, the announcer needs to know, the referee commission needs to have their own paper, the referees that are working need to have, and sometimes what we call special requests are the TV producers or press and so on. So what is better doing, what is advised to do is to have judogi control and special requests without referees for match fixing reasons. So what all the information that are going out of the field of play should be more or less without referee, and of course everything that is connected with the referees, referee commission and referees on the mat with the referees. There are moments like in the final block where also the announcer likes to have the referee to announce before the starting of the fight. But this, of course, depends also on the level of the event and on the broadcasting. And the number of, you can select from the screen which tatami you want to print, and how you can pre-select how many copies you want of the standard printout without referees, and how many copies you want, yes, from the print there, and how many copies you want with the referees. What Corinne and myself like to do is to select the parts that you want to be printed and then print, so with referees, without referees, or you can ask the system to print all the unprinted one. Take into consideration that in a page you have 10 contests, so you can either use the full page and send it, or category by category or round by round, or whatever is necessary for the event. The less paper you print, the less problems you get in general. And then once printed, you have the line that is green, becoming green instead of being orange. Orange means that the referee draw is done and it's ready to be printed. Of course, you can always print. You can always print even without having the two athletes and the referees, because you can have the need of giving the full tatami schedule to, I don't know, the press before the start, or you need to double check if you have all the correct contest on the tatami. Yeah. Tip, Cory?
No, everything was more than perfect. Only for Anya, for a second, if you can just select a couple of fights and press print, just to inform them that on our side, we usually use the first line, the standard layout. And here, of course, you can decide how many you print, 8, 7, whatever, and nothing on the second one. The referee commission, here we decide the same how many it's needed, and nothing on the last line. So basically we only use the first and the third line when we print, to have pages without referees and pages with referees. This is the only thing, because you have there 4 options and sometimes you don't know who wants what and what is needed. But from experience, we use only the first and the third line.
And you can also unselect the contest, like put as unprinted. So you reselect, you click, and you can mark as unprinted. If you can show,
Yeah.
Anya. Because maybe you printed one too much and.
So yeah, like this you can select them. Any questions about these prints? We can continue. The next thing is scoreboard mistakes. So I will put one contest on the scoreboard. Go to the next contest. So I just select one, click on winner. Go to the next one. Okay, if we're still on a scoreboard, if this is the last contest, I can choose this contest on the scoreboard and I will get the result. I won't get the time, but the result, so I can correct here. This is one of the options how to correct. Of course, if we have already finished the next contest, you don't have this contest anymore on the scoreboard. So I have to go and correct it on the server. So I select this contest, and first things I can set winner, so I can change winner to blue. If I choose this, then it will ask me how to change the score. So I put it on here, clear this one, and now I have the different winner. But sometimes it can happen that they're pressing contest on the scoreboard before anything begins, and you want to completely clear the results. So I remove winner. I have this, but now I have to completely clear the result. So I open this, remove result, and clean contest. So I completely clean this cost. You see there are no events anymore. So this contest is clear now. And I can put it back on it will connect, it will go back to the scoreboard. It's unfinished. So any questions about this? The next thing is disqualification. So I have a finished contest, and he was like doing wakigatame or kawazugake or something that is not allowed, and I right click disqualify, and I choose the athlete that is disqualified. Usually they retain result. This option, remove result, is only when the sport commissioner says that the result is removed. It is always retain result for the forbidden technique, remove result only when the sport commissioner comes and he said this competitor has no result on the competition. It is up to them to decide.
So to remove the result, so pay attention, because this is then getting into the ranking, especially into the automatic ranking. Remove the result is a fact that it's always linked to a disciplinary decision. So it's not something that happens. Disqualify and retain result means that in case of repechage, the person that is in repechage cannot do the repechage and stays on the 7th place in the case of quarterfinal repechage. Cancel the result, it's a huge thing. So generally don't use it. Better it's done afterward. It's what we use in case of doping, but as you know, doping cases to be closed and so on need time. So maybe this will happen after 6 months, maybe 1 year, or there is disciplinary action that is also taking time, because the disqualification of an athlete on site is for very, very rare cases. So please retain the result.
Thank you, Corina. Eli, sorry. So this is one of the things that is used. Any questions about this moving contest, pause, changing the result, disqualifications? You can, this is maybe good. Sometimes people don't know. You have this situation on the scoreboard. So on the scoreboard, we already have the competitors, and one competitor is not coming. And you have this button, countdown, 30 seconds. So in case you're waiting for a contestant that's not showing, just start this on the scoreboard. So it's good to explain this to scoreboard operators before the start. I guess it's a procedure. Someone has to say to them that they have to put this 30-second pause.
The countdown is also good to have in the moment you need a break that is not stated. Like you didn't decide before to have a break and you,
Yes.
for any reason, you need a countdown, and you can decide there how many minutes you want the countdown of.
Correct.
And it's the same, it stops the competition where you are in between two fights, and then you can easily continue.
Okay. We got some questions about some issues that are not usually used, but I will show them anyway. This normally doesn't happen, but there is an option to remove the contestant out of the draw and move him to some other place. So first I have to unconfirm draw. Otherwise, this is impossible. And then I have control and double click, and this contestant will be moved out of the draw. So I have him here, and now I can drag and drop him somewhere. I have to remove this one, put him back like this. So you know that you have this option if there is some emergency or something. This is one of the things. Any more questions? One more thing that maybe we didn't show last time is how to export database. So first I have to stop service. I will also show you this because some of you asked to get the chance to practice. So I will post the latest version of JudoManager in the group. And tomorrow we will also send a test database. So I will show you now. You can back up database to file. So if I click this, I will get the database here. You see that it's a date and the time for this. And then later I can import new database into the program. So good practice after the competition would be to export this database. It's good to back up to the cloud and also to your file. So we'll have this database. And then I can also restore from a file. For example, I can choose this one. And you see that I have a different event now here. So when you will get the database, you just need to go here and import this database and you will be able to do the testing. Any questions about this? So like this, you will have a test base. You can practice, you can do anything. And then if you want to start again, you just restore the same file again, and you will get like basic competition to play with. You won't be able to enter new contestants because for that you would need a connection to the base, but you will be able to play with the draw and so on. So any more questions for today's webinar? So these are our future webinars. So next week, Simon and Rook will be discussing about network configurations and options and how best to set everything. Next week after that, we'll go through detailed draw procedure. So what to how to exactly do to avoid the problems. And then week after that, camera recording, advanced settings, how to create a better pictures, better recording. And I guess we will also put graphics here. So this is the plan for the future. I hope we answered everything. I would really like to thank Corina and Elisabetta for the participation and preparation of this information about the contest draw. I really appreciate that they shared their knowledge and experience. So any questions you have, you're more than welcome to either post it in the questionnaires that we are sending or post it to the Telegram group. So we all we're all getting better and get more knowledge. So thank you for participating, and I hope to see you next week. Or Eli, Corina, I want to say something.
No, thank you all for being here today and for the ones that are gonna watch it later on. And same as I said in the beginning, we are here even for questions, even for math planning questions, even later on, not only after this webinar, but also later on during, before you prepare your competitions.
Yes, as you know where to find us. We are not hiding much. And we are always happy to work together to have the best on the events and the smoothest events possible. Because sometimes someone from outside can have a less stressful vision of what is going on.
Okay.
And that's all for us, I think.
Yes. Thank you very much. Have a nice evening and night. And
Meet ya.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.